Scientists to restart what? CERN.
July 4th, 2000.
Colliders.
And scientists from CERN,
The hunt for dark matter. So scientists, folks, are hunting something.
Discovery that signals a new dawn in understanding.
Esau, the cunning hunter. Now we're going to find out what dark matter they're out in space attempting to hunt.
Called humanity's largest and most complex
I wonder who or what is that dark matter? Could it be the same dark matter they're targeting here on Earth?
Building block of our universe.
Huh?
So the Higgs boson is a
Scientists to restart the CERN colliders for dark matter as of April 20th, brothers and sisters, while they're blocking out the sky. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. Look at this, fair use.
The boson is part of what physicists call the Standard Model, a way of explaining what for 13.8 billion years has held particles together, maintaining our universe. There's just one problem. No scientists had ever detected it. That's where the Large Hadron Collider...
What are they doing?
Yeah, after 3 years of long shutdown, we are all very, very keen on getting the accelerator running again. Of course, this comes with a certain sense of tension, nervousness. Is everything going well, and will it all work as we expect? There are always risks when you warm up and cool down a machine from room temperature down to minus 270 degrees, because materials shrink, etc., etc. Did all this go right? And this will only know in the end if the beam goes around. So that's a very, very exciting moment.
Teams like Oliver's from Geneva to Chicago analyze the debris of...
Look at this, folks.
Collisions they say...
What are they doing?
...of the universe.
What are they doing? What are they preparing for,
If you
folks?
look to the sky in the evening, you see this 5% of what's out there, and the other 95% you don't see. And this is for us what we call the black matter. And we hope to be able to discover hints of the existence and how to look for it, also with the LHC.
The CERN Control Center, folks, in a nutshell. When we reported on this in 2011, it was found that the CERN was a part, the missing part that they found for the original Tower of Babel, ancient technology, which is now on grid.
What would this chart look like?
But they're distracting us.
Is that telling you
Right?
something's wrong?
Let's see what's going on. They're distracting us with everything on what we're seeing here on Earth.
And while the machine runs smoothly,
They're concealing the stars while working to go out into them. More fair use.
When a short circuit caused an explosion that rendered the machine inoperable. Tell me about the worst day ever in this command center.
Science,
The
Satanists.
James Webb Space Telescope, a $10 billion observatory that successfully launched into space on Christmas.
$10 billion, folks. $10 billion for nothing. Why are governments coming together and putting so many finances behind what? The heavens.
Almost half the energy used by the system.
And folks, they launched this on Christmas.
Everyone was a little shocked.
See? Nimrod's birthday. Tower of Babel.
A glass ceiling right now. Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. We just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet. Thanks to you and to everyone who's fought so hard to make this possible. I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
physicist and you're observing something.
The James Webb Space Telescope, a $10 billion observatory that successfully launched into space on Christmas Day last year. Ever since it launched, the world has been waiting to see its first images. Images that, according to NASA, will deliver us a new view of the cosmos. Although we still have to wait a few months until we start to see these unprecedented views, recently NASA released Webb's first in-focus image of a single bright star, captured as part of a mirror alignment process.
A bright star!
But in the background of this image, if you look carefully, you will see something even more interesting. A taster, if you like, of what this extraordinary telescope is capable of.
Now, what do they need a telescope out in space for, folks?
Black holes.
There's some black matter coming, folks.
Microscopic black holes could be produced in high energy.
While some of the largest ground-based telescopes on Earth use segmented primary mirrors, Webb is the first telescope in space to use this design. The 21-foot or 6.5-meter gold-covered mirror was far too big to fit inside of a rocket fairing, however, and so it had to be folded up for launch. After Webb successfully made it into space, the 18 hexagonal beryllium mirror segments that make up the primary mirror then unfolded. But for the telescope to work properly, all of these segments have to be aligned with extraordinary precision. Aligning each segment into one smooth reflecting surface was one of the most important tasks the Webb control team had to tackle since the telescope launched. According to NASA's recent news conference, however, the primary mirror is now fully aligned within a fraction of the width of a human hair and performing even better than expected. Although many other alignment steps and tests need completing before Webb ultimately delivers the new view of the cosmos, this fully focused image is the highest resolution infrared image ever taken from space, providing us with a tiny glimpse of how powerful Webb is. The star at the center is called 2MASS J17554042 plus 6551277, and although it is the brightest thing in the image, emanating streams of light across the universe, it is nothing particularly special. It is just a generic, anonymous star with the right level of brightness used to make sure that the mirror alignment is precise enough.
Oh, could this be an artificial morning star? Could this be an earthy creation to mimic the morning star? See, I'm going to show you how this all ties together, folks. They're outright introducing Lucifer as the god of this world who can shine out in space so that all the earth can see as a god, to be revered as a god. Now, when you put this together with the CERN, something happens. You have the telescope looking out there. They already discovered the portals in 2012 all around the earth. I went into that in the academy.
A favorite theme of science fiction is the portal, an extraordinary opening in space or time that connects travelers to distant realms. A good portal is a shortcut, a guide, a door into the unknown, if only they actually existed. It turns out that they do, sort of, and a NASA-funded researcher at the University of Iowa has figured out how to find them. We call them X-points, or electron diffusion regions, explains plasma physicist Jack Scudder of the University of Iowa.
This is a pilot for a television show called Rewind that premiered in 2013. Rewind never became an official show. Nonetheless, we see startling symbolism that points to September 23rd, the opening of CERN's door, and the beginning of chaos.
CERN's Large Hadron Collider, the LHC, is the largest single machine in the world, located on the border of France and Switzerland. Its stated purpose is to accelerate subatomic particles by the speed of light and force them to travel in a loop where they then collide. Although CERN doesn't publicly profess to an agenda in relationship to God or Satan, evil versus good, the spiritual realm as it would be described by Bible believers and so on, there is something more supernatural on the drawing board at CERN than what is being admitted. Even Adam Barker of Tech Bubble wrote of CERN a while back that with the LHC, CERN are expecting to find other dimensions and open portals to these dimensions. If you have the image of Stargate in your head right now, you're spot on. That's what he said.
The show begins with a bomb squad that's trying to deactivate a nuclear device left inside a car. The scene appears very chaotic indeed. The White House is in a state of disorder as they are working to prevent the nuclear device from detonating and killing over 9 million people in Manhattan and the surrounding boroughs.
There is a nuclear threat in Manhattan, Jess, and it's real.
How long?
You only have a few minutes.
Every single culture talks about the doorway of the gods or the presence of evil ones coming through the portals. The point that people must understand is symbols have meaning. And as those symbols are represented throughout the world, you can't get away from the gates of hell.
In your journals, you talk about a life-creating act of destruction. Every act of creation is first an act of destruction.
The CIA agent leaves through the personal journal of the physicist that's being questioned. You can see the 2 pages that he leaves through appear to depict wormholes or dimensional doorways.
In the military industrial complex, they're highly connected to some of the highest placed intelligence people in the nation, and yet they're actually trying to conjure and bring these things into this reality. The Babylon working is one of the things I'm referring to, but there's a long history of that connection of people who have super high IQs. They're very intelligent. They're not doing this because they're dumb, right? They're total believers. They believe more than a lot of the people in the church do about the supernatural, and they're attempting to bring themselves into contact.
Then we see the sudden destruction hit the resident city of the United Nations.
Cities are reeling as the meteor storm, zombie epidemic, and alien encounters continue unabated.
After this scene, one of the characters is led to a secret research facility where he sees an unusual device that appears to be emitting energy. Now, the chief scientist explains the time travel machine as the most powerful particle collider in the world.
We're standing in the core of the most powerful particle collider ever built.
July 4th, 2012, and scientists from CERN, the European Agency for Nuclear Research, step in front of hordes of journalists to unveil a scientific discovery that signals a new dawn in understanding our universe.
It is a milestone. I think we can all be proud.
Researchers created what's been called humanity's largest and most complex scientific experiment. A 27-kilometer, one-of-a-kind machine buried some 175 meters below ground to discover the Higgs boson, a pivotal building block of our universe.
Most colliders cap out at 27%. It's a stability concern. We found a way to push through that. Earlier this year, our system went online at 82% capacity, at which point this window appeared.
So it's what's about a hologram, a video projection of a grassy field?
No, it's a little more complicated than that.
So we're accelerating protons in opposite directions to very high energies in a 27-kilometer long tunnel, and then we bring them to collisions in different interaction points where we have then experiments essentially recording the data.
Okay, Olivier, why don't you tell me what's happening here?
What we see here is an event display, which essentially is a recording of one of our proton-proton collisions. If you like, it's a three-dimensional imaging of the data we are taking in our experiment and then being displayed in this way. So it's one out of billions of collisions we are taking.
So this is like real-time imagery of what you're trying to do here. Teams like Oliver's from Geneva to Chicago analyze the debris of millions of collisions. Collisions, they say, recreate the beginnings of the universe.
The world's coming to an end unless we do something about it.
The mission of these CIA agents is to travel back in time and stop the nuclear bomb from detonating in New York City. As we later find out, they are successful. The particle collider appears to be the central focus.
It all adds up to this reality that we call the present. Can we use this window to alter history? Absolutely. Can we use this window to alter history? Absolutely.
What are you hoping to achieve here?
Well, these collisions essentially are at very high energy, at the highest possible energy mankind has generated in particle physics collisions so far, and we hope to achieve conditions which must have existed very close to the beginning of our universe, namely after the Big Bang.
Of course, recreating the Big Bang is not a matter of just flipping on a switch. The LHC is managed by a control center on the French side of the border, where engineers like Mirko are responsible for injecting some 7 tera-electron volts into magnets, accelerating protons close to the speed of light.
On this screen, on this chart, you see the past 24 hours at the LHC. You see the black line indicates the energy of the machine, and the blue and red lines indicate the intensity of beams that are injected in the two directions into the LHC. We actually put them into collisions where the experiments can turn on their detectors and start collecting data.
If something was wrong with the machine, what would this chart look like?
Something like that, for example.
Is that telling me something's wrong?
Yes,
okay.
Indeed. We decided to extract the beam, restarting from zero, and it went smoothly up and this time, and it was pretty fine.
Come on, we gotta go.
Well, Doctor, it appears you've got a new window.
And on top of that now, the morning star, not only is a telescope so that the earth can see that what the world powers under Satan has accomplished to some level what Lucifer promised. That's right. To one day
Lucifer
be like a god, to be seen as a star
in heaven against the throne and monarchy of God. Defeated by the Archangel Michael, this fallen angel was cast headlong to the lower realm. Flaming as he fell through the ethereal sky. Down to bottomless damnation. There to dwell in unbreakable chains and punishing fire. Is this really necessary? Unchain me! Michael!
Return as my ally and devoted angel of the kingdom.
Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. Michael! I will one day shake free and rise from these ashes. I will return to you, but not as your ally, nor your brother. I shall return to you as your master, your creator, your god! Over time, legions of demons join Lucifer in hell as he plots his revenge. On Earth, his disciples erect a stronghold to guard where Lucifer fell, believing one day he will rise through this gateway to hell and rule our world.
I'm going to show y'all this, folks.
A test star, if you like.
A what?
It's what
A what? A what?
The mirror alignment is precise enough. A test star, if you like.
A test star, if you like. Man, when I seen this video just came out a month ago, folks. I was like, whoa. They're bold with this. And the scientists of the earth believe that they're going to accomplish Satan's mission to go out into the stratosphere, into the cosmos, to fight against God. They're looking to take the battle outside of earth into heaven, folks. Everything I'm mentioning right now was prophesied while they have you distracted down here with a cold, looking at each other, bumping into each other, confused out of our minds to how close we are to what? Christ is coming.
It's what is surrounding the star that is interesting, the spray of tiny dots scattered across the background, because these specks are distant galaxies billions of light years away that have never been observed before. These mysterious distant galaxies make this crystal clear image a so-called deep field image, which is an image that has captured the most distant objects in the universe. The Hubble Space Telescope requires days, sometimes weeks, to obtain some of its most famous deep fields, such as this one, whereas Webb will be able to accomplish the same results in just hours. The James Webb Space Telescope is designed to be 100 times more sensitive than Hubble, but the two observatories do not image in the same wavelengths. Hubble is an expert in mainly visible and ultraviolet radiation, while Webb operates in the realms of infrared. It's important to remember, however, that this is only a test image. The glorious vistas, such as those captured by Hubble over the last 30 years or so, will come later, once the observatory is fully operational. But even though it is a test, it does represent the beginning of what we will soon be observing. The James Webb Space Telescope will allow us to peer back in time and capture the first galaxies that formed only a few hundred million.
Do you see what they're trying to do? This is the perfect segue into the creation of the universe, folks, and the portals of God that we're going to be going into. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Absolutely. Can we use this window?
That's right, folks. They're looking to warp space
But
and
we're
time
manipulating nature in its most
with their
fragile
machines
state. But we're
to be able to go
manipulating
back
nature in
in
its most
time.
fragile state.
And
Listen.
saving 9 million lives.
If we
Listen.
get it right.
But even though it is a test, it does represent the beginning of what we will soon be observing. The James Webb Space Telescope will allow us to peer back in time and capture the first galaxies that formed only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang.
Now let me go back to that ladder, and then that arrow, the arrow there.
100 million years after the Big Bang.
Let's go back to that arrow. Hey folks, you see where it says the Big Bang at? The Big Bang is whom the world deems to be God. That's the Big Bang. The Big Bang is when there was a war in the beginning that led to spirits being moved, beings being moved from the sides of the north into this realm. That's right. Dark and void, according to Revelation. According to Genesis, the first chapter, where it was talking about the void and the darkness. The Big Bang is code for God, because what? Every action, there's a reaction. You cannot have a Big Bang without someone creating it or something creating it. They're talking about getting back to God.
The first galaxies that formed only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang.
Hold up, I gotta go right into this. I'm going right into it. Let me move this out of the way here. They're setting their nest amongst the stars.
CERN is an acronym that translates to European Council for Nuclear Research, but has since moved on to studying particle physics. And even though they invented the internet in 1989, they are most famous for their 666 logo, a video of a woman being ritually sacrificed on CERN grounds at the altar of Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction, and for potentially destroying the universe. Multiple lawsuits have been filed to stop CERN's particle collider, in fear that it could destroy the Earth, which revealed to the public that CERN is a sovereign entity outside the jurisdiction of the courts, so they can do whatever they want. What is it that they're doing? It has to do with high-velocity counter-rotational spin, which was first documented in Nazi Germany's most secret program, Die Glocke, the bell. According to surviving documents, the bell was somehow affecting time and space. The most distinctive aspect of the bell was high-velocity counter-rotational spin, also known as torsion physics. Many are concerned that CERN is attempting to open a portal into another dimension that will allow demonic entities to enter ours. This was blatantly portrayed 6 years ago in a pagan ritual to celebrate the opening of the Gotthard Tunnel, just east of CERN. The dimension they would be attempting to open is already somewhat accessible. Do you hear voices in your head? If you do, then you likely know it's best to keep that to yourself, because a doctor will tell you that you're a schizophrenic. Modern psychiatry calls these voices auditory hallucinations. And even though a whopping 1% of the world's population suffers from schizophrenia, there isn't much research. But after 30 years of working closely with the criminally insane, Jerry Marzinski has noticed that the voices talking to these schizophrenics are all saying the same things. There is a distinct, predictable pattern. The voices are exclusively generating negative emotion, leaving the patient physically and emotionally drained. The voices are always pulling a person away from God or anything positive. The voices are always a call to action, instructing the person to either hurt themselves or hurt someone else, which is probably why the voices always rebel against the drugs that are prescribed for schizophrenia. These drugs make a person comatose, and the voices want you to do things. Marzinski believes that schizophrenics are being attacked by non-physical entities that he calls energy parasites because they feed off of negative energy. And in practically every case, the victim has experienced severe trauma, usually sexual trauma, which explains why the voices tell people to traumatize others. These demons want more victims. According to the ancient Gnostics, who referred to these entities as archons, they are destructive, sadistic beings who control the earth via the thoughts of humans. Voices in the head. This explains the rampant pedophilia we are seeing today and the incestuous inbreeding of royal bloodlines. These energy parasites need traumatized people to feed upon. Perhaps some of the thoughts in our own mind are not our own. Most schizophrenics claim that this is the case, but are told by doctors that they are crazy. Doctors who only give them lobotomies, electroshock, and drugs. And Marzinski has only seen schizophrenics recover once they start seeing these voices as an external entity. They then realize that they can actually resist them, and the voices go away. And so, while CERN is a great mystery and a concern, the demons from another dimension may already be here, in our thoughts. So it's a good thing we all have free will. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
On January 2nd, 2024, a large police presence was spotted at the Bayside Marketplace, an outdoor mall in Miami, Florida. The police report stated that it was an incident involving teenagers with sticks and fireworks that caused a panic among shoppers. The problem that most people are having with this report is the sheer number of police vehicles involved, around 100, that surrounded the mall just for a small group of teenagers, 4 total, that had fireworks and sticks. Then eyewitness reports began surfacing of 8 to 10-foot creatures which were entering the mall, which really caused the mass panic from shoppers to the point many who were armed began to fire upon the large creatures. This caused the power to be cut from the mall and surrounding homes, and black helicopters sent into the air to scan the area, shutting down the Miami airport until the search was finished. Some have described these creatures as zombies to reptilians, to even Nephilim in nature as they entered the marketplace. What are these creatures? Are they a sign of the last days of Noah, or is it a government experiment gone AWOL, or cryptids journeying from a secluded area nearby? You tell me.
They have the whole earth distracted, under sin, and it's to a point where what? There's no resistance on earth against anything they assume at this point. They're in bold. Let me tell you, the scientists are emboldened in their initiatives now. There's no resistance on earth because there's not too many people out there who actually believe the record anymore, the Bible. But does the Bible gives us the understanding of the so-called science you and I today on this Sabbath just viewed? Folks, we as a church been keeping our eyes on this for a long time. You can't be talking about the Most High and Christ and the coming of Christ and not understand how things will unfold on earth and the prophecies of what the world powers would be doing on earth that would lead to what? The battle of Armageddon. I'm going into it right now, folks. Here it is. Setting their nest amongst the stars, and they're doing this right up under our noses. I don't know. You talk to your family members and all that. They, on one level, they just talking about Biden, this, that, and the other, Trump, what's going on with the Ukraine. And guess what? The world powers are laughing at all of the people. They're laughing at you. They're handling their business. Their business is to serve their God and to do what? Set their nest amongst the stars, knowing that time has run out.
Good morning. My name is Carol Rosen. In 1974, after being a sixth grade school teacher, I was introduced to the late Dr. Wernher von Braun, in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space. And I said, teachers don't stop until June. He said, no, you have to understand, this is February, and we have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system, the first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat. Well, at the time, I kind of laughed when he said asteroids, and when he said extraterrestrials, I knew I wasn't going to deal with that subject. And now we hear on the news just today, this week, that they've slid in another enemy. Only this time we're going to protect our satellites. In other words, we have to have some reason to spend these trillions, to waste these dollars on a space-based weapon system, and they're all lies. This is a system, he told me, that would never protect anyone. Even back then, he talked about suitcase bombs. He talked about chemical, viral, bacterial, biological warfare, that these space-based weapons would never protect us against. And then he told me that, in fact, if you travel around the world, which I did after he died in 1977, I met with people in over 100 countries who were friends. They didn't want to build space-based weapons. I became a space and missile defense consultant. And I worked with people around the world. I became an advisor to the People's Republic of China. They don't want to build a space-based weapon system. And he told me back then that they didn't. He said, go to Russia. They're considered to be the enemy. I got on a plane by myself. When I got to Russia, I had a list of people that I had read out of the newspaper. Chernenko was in office then. He was the only one I didn't get a chance to meet. They introduced me to everyone when I got there. And when I got back, I said, oh my Lord, this man is telling the truth. There is no threat. And I've been waiting until this day for 27 years, and I'm expecting the spin to happen, because he also explained to me that as a military strategist, as a person who worked on the MX missile, which I did later, he said, you will find that there is going to be a spin to find some enemy against whom we have to build space-based weapons. And now we should expect the spin, because he said part of the formula for the intelligence community is if they might have a weapon, then we have to consider that they do have these weapons. So now they do have these weapons, so now we have to build these weapon systems. And that's the formula, except that it's all based on a lie.
Time has run out, and we're operating as if it hasn't. Okay? And they're putting all of their life source and spirit behind their God's initiative. But where are we placing our spirit? And our energy? Is our energy going on the right side of justice in preparation for Christ's coming? Because I'll tell you, these scientists, I'm going to tell you, if we were more fervent and zealous as scientists, as the scientists are in accomplishing their mission, we'll be saved already. They're putting their resources, their own lives, their spirit, everything in accomplishing this mission to set their nest among the stars. Let's go, other lawyer. Let's go straight to, real quick, Lucifer, the morning star.
Isaiah 14, verse 12.
Come on.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
How did you fall, O Lucifer?
Son of the morning.
Son of the morning star. Read.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
How did you get cut down to the ground? Who did what?
Weaken the nations.
Satan's mission is to weaken the nations, folks. To weaken us. And not just Israel, all races of people. It's his power to make them weak so that they could do what? Fall into what? A servitude mode. And look at this weakling who was hurled to this earth as a god. To put up mankind in a compromised, weak position when man was made and emboldened by God on earth to one day judge him. Read.
13. For thou hast said in thine heart,
listen to this,
I will ascend into heaven.
I will do what?
I will ascend into heaven.
I will ascend into heaven. No one understood how this could go down. No one understood the science that would be behind this particular prophecy. The materials in earth that would need to be used with people born in the earth, severed from other people to help him accomplish this. Literally. This is not metaphorical. This is literal.
Here they come.
Read that last piece again, Elder Lawyer.
I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
The congregation in the sides of the north are who? Are what? The heavenly hosts. The heavenly hosts. And this is why when they put this telescope in the sky, NASA and others in the world powers who were waiting for this, said they were able to look into what? Look into the cosmos and see stars that the Hubble telescope could not see within 2 hours. Okay? The congregation of God are angels. I will do what?
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
I will ascend into heaven. That's over the firmament. Read.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Come on.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Read.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
I will be above the clouds in earth. The clouds are before the firmament, which is the what? The circumference or the sphere around earth, the firmament. Okay? Which separates what? The life in earth from the life outside of it. He said he would go above the clouds. Read.
I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. I will be like the Most High. Now, we all know how this ends. Even the fallen God the world powers worship understands what will come of this satanic plan. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to keep it there real quick. Why are they going out there, folks? Why? Why are they out in space? Elder Lawyer, let's go to Jeremiah 31 and 31 real quick. Why are you out there? Get the precept, Jeremiah 31 and 31.
Jeremiah 31, verse 31.
Come on.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
What do Israelites have to do with this? Now, there was an old covenant under Moses, right? But it tells us in the prophecies, the prophets, that he would make a new agreement with those same people. Listen.
32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt.
I'm going to make a new agreement with the Israelites. And see, the powers that be, the scientists, understands this. Folks, listen to me clearly, folks. This is all about a battle for power. Who will rule this realm? The same realm Esau currently rules. You notice how they said, he showed how they need to put this technology out in space so that they can look back in time and get back to the original spirit that created everything, that caused the Big Bang. They feel that they have the technology through CERN and other technology to get right back to the beginning, to circumvent time, to do what?
Agents
to change what happened in the beginning, folks.
Bomb from detonating in New York City. As we later find
to
out,
change what happened. This is how insane this sounds. They have the technology and they believe they can accomplish this.
Can we use this window?
And they can get, because the Most High is the great I am that I am. Time, he's out of time and space. He created that. So they need to get to the point of him in the beginning and try to manipulate time to get to him to reverse time.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book. And the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.
Bigger than your wish. Hey, my God bigger than your wish. Hey, my God bigger than your wish. We celebrate Halloween. Put it in the ditch. Yeah, put it in the ditch. We celebrating Halloween. Put it in the ditch. Yeah, put it in the ditch. Nah, we ain't in the dark, cause we righteous. And you know we with the light gang. Light gang. Yeah, we with the light gang. Light gang. Yeah, we ride with the light gang. Light gang shining bright. We ain't friends with the night. We with the righteous. And you know we with the light gang. Light gang. Yeah, we with the light gang. Light gang. Yeah, we ride with the light gang. Nah, we ain't in the dark. We a light inside this world. No, we righteous. You know we with the righteous. You can get just like this. Like gang, don't bang. No, we righteous, but we can hang with the slang. Ain't playing this light shine so bright. I had to lay back. Ain't in Chirac, but we killing demons. Then watch the playback. Then pull up with our spirit lit up. We showing love to the sinners who was stuck in the club, and now the blood hit they psyche. Feeling Christly, we do the right thing, no spitely. No demons or witches cannot entice me. My sword in my hand like a Mikey, no Freddy Krueger. Maneuvering from the darkness, accusers wanna recruit us. Cause we was in the dark and his mercy set us apart. In the body, we talk the same, we don't complain. Cause you know we with the light gang. Light gang, yeah, we with the light gang. Light gang, yeah, we ride with the light gang. Light gang shining bright. We ain't friends with the night. We with the righteous. And you know we with the light gang. Light gang. Yeah, we with the light gang. Light gang. Yeah, we ride with the light gang. Nah, we ain't in the dark. We a light inside this world. No, we righteous at the heart. We with
Gotta keep my garment clean. I be riding with the light gang. Walking in the dark with a blunt. Used to strike flame. Didn't know about his image. Was calling on that white man. Thought his name was Jesus. Hail Zeus. That ain't the right name. I got knocked off that high horse. That's when the light came. Hold up. I thought witches and demons should be frightening, but it's okay. Dress up for one day. It's exciting. You don't know they playing with your soul, but what did Christ say? Woe to those that call evil good and good evil. Ain't Nation entities attach themselves to the people. Pagan holidays, they glorifying the evil. Gotta stand on Christ and make Halloween illegal. Oh my God, the bigger thing you're with, you know that ain't proper. Warlocks in white coats, but y'all call them doctors. Judgment about to come, he gon' laugh at all the scoffers. Judgment on the way, and he gon' laugh at all the scoffers. We with the light gang, light gang. Yeah, we with the light gang, light gang. Yeah, we ride with the light gang, light gang. Shining bright, we ain't friends with the night, we with the righteous. And you know we with the light gang, light gang. Yeah, we with the light gang, light gang. Yeah, we ride with the light gang. Nah, we ain't in the dark, we a light inside this world. No, we righteous at the heart, we with the.
Hello? Nah, I ain't coming, man. And second thought, I want the light game, man.